In this episode of Sailing Doodles, we sail to a tiny little atoll with a population of about 20 and then welcome them on board. This journey and video is brought to you by our patrons. Previously, we set sail from Salmlaki 170 miles to a barely charted atoll. Navigating. Sometimes it's a little challenging. I mean, it's obviously a lot easier nowadays with GPS and iPads and such. We're just kind of going to go over what we're doing here. So we're coming in here. These charts here are Navionics. Navionics are generally, I found, a bit more accurate than Garmin. But in this case, this atoll, I mean, they're not accurate at all. They're hardly showing anything. Whereas you come up here to the Garmin charts and it's actually got it. Now that I'm not going to exactly just trust that because charts, even the Garmin's and the Navionics, can be off in these areas by quite a bit. So what I also have is atoll maps, which is basically Google Earth images saved to an app, and a GPS locates you on there, and so you can track that and you can actually see all the reefs and the shallow points in this clear water. So coming in here today to this atoll, you know, it's not really marked on any cruising guides. I just kind of was looking through the charts and found it. We're gonna give it a shot, come in here. So I'm gonna use all three of these coming in just to be extra safe. And actually, you know, we don't know how well it's gonna be going in and out of the channel going in there. We don't even know if the waves will allow us to go in. If not, we'll just keep on going, but we're thinking it should.
You know we're going in there. I want a paddleboard, and it looks great. You can see it from here.
We'll see.
Now, we're paddleboarding, bonfire, snorkeling.
I'm not putting the boat at risk, or you at risk.
I'll wear a life jacket. I'll be fine.
The channel coming into the atoll was easy to navigate. The clear water helped to see all the reefs, and the locals had even put out poles to mark the channel. We still anchored well offshore though, as I didn't really trust the charts. The small island had a very large tidal beach. Unfortunately, the microphone on this camera failed and we didn't know it. I'm not sure how much this will affect our footage in the future. It looked like there were several new homes built, although I don't think they'd ever been lived in, and they looked abandoned. We think the locals harvested giant clams because we found quite a few shells, and then this whole area where they laid them out to dry. We walked over to the village, although we didn't see too many people. With the tide coming in, we had to get back to the dinghy. Not long after, the villagers decided to come pay us a visit. At first we were a little concerned because we saw a boat of 8 men, but they ended up being really friendly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The guys were definitely wanting some bourbon, so who are we to say no?
Toss, toss, toss.
They hung out for a few hours, but we needed to set sail before dark.
Thank you, sir. Good to meet you.
Hi guys.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Well, I doubt they get many visitors here, so that's probably...
That was so awesome.
Yeah, that probably made their... I mean, it made our week too. That was pretty cool.
That was really great.
I doubt they get to drink too much. Hopefully they drive back okay.
That's probably why they're like,
yeah.
Yeah.
We're already running late now, so we have to cook. We were planning to grill out here and do all that. Now we're just gonna have to pull up anchor and get out of here while the sun's still up.
But
So
babe, I wanted a barbecue.
we'll do it in next place.
You never let me do anything I want.
I let her do everything she wants. All right, it was a fun time. A lot more fun than I thought it was going to be, getting to know those guys. Well, we didn't really get to know. They barely spoke any English, but you know, universal language of shots. But had a good time, and now we just pulled up the anchor. We're going to motor out of the atoll and head to near Flores Island. It was a 300-mile run to our next stop, a little place called Segu. The next morning, we decided to put up the Spinnaker. The girls were getting a lot more confident with the sail, so it allowed me to fly the drone while they put up the Spinnaker. You can really see our acceleration as soon as the sail fills. In my opinion, a good downwind sail is an absolute must when cruising. We flew the Spinnaker all day, but just before sunset, we took it down just to be safe overnight. AIS is another thing you should really have when cruising. It lets you see the boats, what their name is, their size, even their heading, and how close you're going to come to them. By evening, the wind continued to drop off and we had to motor, but it sure was a beautiful sunset. Join us next time as we arrive to Segu and continue sailing. As always, we can't do this without our patrons. Thank you so much. And if you'd like to be notified when the next video comes out, please click subscribe and then the bell next to it.